All right, today I'm going to introduce you to the fundamentals of fingerstyle playing. We've been playing with thumb and pick to do most of our chord playing, but today we're going to just start the idea of using more than the thumb and more than the pick, but using actually the thumb, index, middle, and ring finger of our right hand, or left hand if you're a left-handed guitarist. And the basic principle is that when you're playing fingerstyle music, the thumb is responsible for the low E string, the fifth string, the A, and the fourth string, the D string. That's its territory. It takes care of everything that goes on those, we call them the bass strings. And then your first finger is responsible for the third string. Your second finger, your middle finger, is responsible for the second string, and your third finger, your ring finger, is responsible for the first string. And those fingers kind of just stay locked on those strings. And so regardless of how complex the pattern, and it might, that's not an absolute, but in general, a majority of your playing, those fingers are going to be locked onto those strings, and that helps build some consistency with your finger style playing, so you don't have to kind of make it all up as you go. They have certain assignments. Just like when you play in position with your left hand, your fingers have places they should be, so you don't have to worry about where they're going to be. They're already assigned. Your right hand fingers have a similar kind of thing where they're going to stay on those strings. Now the technique, I always teach people, it's when you're playing fingerstyle, you're not plucking at the strings. You're basically just curling your fingers into your hand. You see I'm just curling my fingers up into my right hand, kind of up into my palm. So if I was just playing the open strings and I had my fingers locked onto those strings, it would sound and look like this. Now I'm playing three strings all at the same time. First finger, second finger on the second string, and third finger on the first string, and then I'm curling those three fingers up into my hand, and so the string gets caught right on the edge of the finger, and my thumb would take the bass note. So with fingerstyle, there's really two ways to play. You're either playing notes together, like I'm doing this, and sometimes it's different combinations. Sometimes it's just two strings. Sometimes it's, in this case I'm playing the third string and the second string together, and then the second string and the first string together. Here I'm playing the third string and the first string together. You can find different combinations, but you're either playing strings together or you're separating them out. It's something we called arpeggiating, where you play one note at a time. So when you work out these patterns, what we're going to do is we're going to take our primary chords, and you have a primary chord roundup. You also have your basic open position chords. Is to start not only strumming through them, but trying them in a fingerstyle manner. And here's two ways to try it. One is where we're going to play all the notes together, and I'm going to take the chords G. I'm going to start with the G chord, and I'm going to play, my bass note is on the lowest string, and then my first, second, and third finger on the third, second, and first string. And I'm going to play it all together, so it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, that's my thumb playing the bass note and my three fingers curling up into my palm. I'm doing that at the same time. And if I was to switch chords, on the C chord, my thumb goes to the fifth string, but my first, second, and third fingers stay on those first strings. And if I go to a D7 chord, my thumb goes to the fourth string, because that's the bass note of the D chord. And then back to G. So that's playing all the notes simultaneously. Then you have arpeggiating, which is when you separate out each note. This takes a little bit more coordination. See, I'm doing a bass note, and then each finger just kind of rolling one after another. Thumb first, second, third, thumb first. And again, this is just a basic pattern to kind of get your fingers started. And then if I go to the C chord, the only thing that changes is my bass note and my left hand fingering. And then I go to the D7 chord, 4th string. And that, that's a simple pattern to get started, but you want to get your fingers start used to doing that, because then you'll be able to play more interesting patterns. You'll be able to play more interesting patterns, and you'll be able to build up more patterns from that. But that's just a starter on fingerstyle guitar and your right hand. Thank you.